Hey guys, what's up? Wanted to make a quick video here after we had this Hurricane Ian experience that pretty much did a really good job on Florida and had scrambling at least for a good, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 days preparing for the storm and dealing with the storm, and then after clean up, and we lost power for 4 days and internet, so we were down for a while, only because where we live, we're kind of out a little bit further east, which is further away from the water, so we're kind of in a slightly rural area, I guess farm town you'd want to call it. So we lost power lines. I'll put some pictures up and stuff so you guys can see. And so it took a while for the power companies to get out here and actually restore our power. So luckily a lot of neighbors and stuff were complaining about it, made a lot of complaints. Also, we don't have FPL out here. We have TECO, which is Tampa Electric. So I don't know if that makes a difference. Probably not. But regardless, we were down for 4 days. We were very fortunate. We didn't get anywhere near the damage that I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen that happened down south in Fort Myers and Cape Coral area. They really, Sanibel Island, some of the roads just completely washed away. But hurricanes are a big deal. I went through Hurricane Andrew in 1992, and I learned a very valuable lesson from that. And I know not to take them for granted. So you definitely have to prepare. A lot of people think that they've been through a storm, basically like if kind of what we experienced. I mean, yes, we technically did go through the storm, but we didn't go through the hardest part of the storm, which is the eye and the outer wall, which has all the serious wind gusts and spews up a bunch of tornadoes and stuff like that. So all the flooding that happened, I mean, it was crazy. Even here, Central Florida, a lot of the rivers and stuff overflowed, all kinds of problems. I mean, I think some of the areas are still having flooding issues where the water hasn't receded yet. So it was a big deal, man. Again, always tell guys, people, family members, neighbors, everybody, I'm like, man, don't take these things for granted, because the day that you do, you're gonna regret it. So again, we're very fortunate, and I hate to say that because of the less fortunate that did get hit further south. I had some friends that had a bunch of water come in their house. I mean, water was up to their toilets, and they were there with their kids. Just tragic, man. I mean, it's just crazy, but it's the thing we have to deal with here in Florida. It's not all the time, but houses are built more or less to be prepared for that. When you're by the water, obviously you can't be prepared for the amount of flooding that happened, but I'll put some videos and stuff just so you could see some of the wind and we probably had 85-mile-an-hour winds here, I would think, tops. All right, we're getting a lot of text messages and phone calls, but unfortunately we've been busy trying to get the house ready. So here's an idea of what it looks like. It's 11 o'clock in the morning, and this is the wind blowing through here right now. Definitely picked up now. Luckily, most of our stuff, again, got lucky, and it was a learning lesson for the builder of this community, because the way they anchored and mounted a lot of our shutters and stuff was very, very poor. So you could see where some of our anchors and stuff ripped out of the walls, and just it's a big problem now, and everybody's scrambling to fix it. This is some of the anchors and stuff that we had that ripped out. So this anchor would anchor in the wall, and then this screw would screw into here and basically hold your panel down, but didn't work. A lot of people lost these anchors during the storm. We have fiber panels, so we don't have like your original or traditional that you're used to seeing, those aluminum panels. And once the wind picked up, the wind came through and pulled these anchors out, and since they're fabric panels, they came back and smashed the windows and broke some windows. So we definitely got lucky, because if it would have been stronger than that, all these panels would have probably ripped off and we would have all lost windows, and who knows what happens then. So main thing is protect your windows and stuff. But aside from that, wanted to give you guys an update on the red Corolla and what we're doing. Here is actually the header that Ricky sent to me. Took off the car. Obviously I'm not there in Hawaii, I can't work on it. So what we were going to do originally, why I have the header, was it was blowing some exhaust gaskets once we tried turning up the boost. And I started to think about a lot of things, and I started to realize that I don't think it was a surface issue, that it was warped. I think we have a back pressure problem. So normally this is the header I used to always build for these 3TCs. This actually came off of Garrick's car. He's also in Oahu. He has a very nice Carina that he used to race, which is actually this motor that's in the red car came from Garrick. So this is the header that Garrick ran for a while, but now I think I'm starting to realize that these tubes are just way too small. And I think we're having a back pressure problem. So we are going to build a new header. And in doing that, we're going to go with an all stainless header. This is tubes that I used to sell back in the day that were just mild steel. It's all you could really get back then. Now we have the beauty of getting all this stainless, schedule pipe, thick wall stuff. So we're going to go with the next size up as far as header tube, and see if that alleviates our problem, which I'm pretty sure it will. This header here is probably good for, I don't know, 650, I'd say. Any more than that, I think you're pushing the limits of it as far as header tube diameter. So again, this car is going to be some tests. And when we used to run the Start It back in the day, that it had a stainless header. The difference then was it wasn't a thick wall header, it was a thin wall header. So it used a 16 gauge, same inch and 5/8, but the ID is going to be way bigger compared to this, which is inch and 5/8 also, but it's got 120 wall compared to a 60 thousandths wall. So I think that was the difference in how we got lucky with the Start It back then. So we're going to build a different header. We are going to actually I talked to Billy about it yesterday, we were going to install some EGT bungs. So now we're going to have even more data per cylinder. As you can see here, I got these flanges bolted to it because I have to try and jig this the best way possible. So this flange here and the header flange, once I weld all this and lock this in place, then I will bolt our stainless flange that we make, and it will fall right in the exact spot of where everything used to be before. So again, once I do this here, this flange here will bolt on top of that. So these will be our jig flanges, and then this will coordinate and line everything up to where hopefully we don't have to have an issue with the downpipe. That was my biggest thing. I didn't really want to build a header, but now that we see that we're pretty much having a problem, I think it's time that we do that. So I'm torn if I'm going to use this. It might be too tall, I don't know. I have to see once I jig it all up and see what kind of space I have. The wastegate won't sit like this anymore, and so that's going to change as well. Also here, we're going to go to an air to water intercooler. No more air to air. We had these crazy air temps. So every time we increased boost, basically, we started at 39 pounds. The car ran at 850, high 850 at that boost. And we still had high inlet air temperatures. So once I tried to go up in boost, I kept having to pull fuel out, which is not what you want to do when you add boost. Obviously, you want to add fuel and add boost. That's the way you're going to make power. And we couldn't do that. So now, air to water intercooler, we are going to take out the air to air that's in the car. Here's all the new lines to plumb all the air to water system. And I'm going to do something a little different as well. I don't know if you guys ever saw it, but you will see now. I am going to remove the radiator as well. So we're going to put a big water tank inside the passenger seat of the car, and that water tank will basically run the engine and the intercooler. Once I get to Hawaii, I'll show you guys how we do all that, but that's the latest coming along with the red car. So my plan is also, I'll probably just keep this header because I don't plan on making too much power with my 3TC build. I have it. I'm going to try and offset some of the costs with Billy, and it will go into this, my brown Corolla. So hopefully it fits. I need to see if it does, because I need to run a tangential style turbine housing, but it might be really, really close to the radiator. I'm sorry, the alternator and all that. So once I check the clearances there, we'll see if all that works. So this is also coming up next. Get ready for hopefully this thing to fire up. I've been working on this. I finally got it all wired up. Checking spark here real quick. I don't have any spark, so I'm trying to figure all that out, getting all the Haltech programmed and everything. I got Stella here helping me. And so this will be next. Hopefully I get this thing running this week and show you guys real quick here. So I built a little switch panel for it. I don't have the key for the car, so I had to basically figure things out on my own. So there's the Haltech dash, ignition. It's got an Elite 550, which unfortunately they do not make anymore, but there is the dash powered up and starter. So fuel pump works, everything else works. Just have to figure out why we have no sparks. We'll double check all that. But yeah, guys, I want to say thanks to everybody who reached out, making sure we were okay. Had a bunch of people DM, Facebook message, I mean text. It was crazy, you know, but it was scary, you know. Luckily we again, not say luckily, but we did dodge a major bullet, and I'm grateful we didn't have to deal with, you know, total destruction, because it would have been bad. But stay tuned. Again, more videos coming up. I'm gonna get this orange car done, more updates on the red car, and we will keep it going. Talk to you later, guys. Bye.